that?
There's a truck.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It slowed down. A little quiet. Got right next to me and then sped up. Hello, Ray.
All right, what's the latest?
I am at the library and I have gotten him a bicycle. And we have listeners here who have been following him. We have got him a bike. He's getting ready to get back on the bike and he's heading to Riverton.
Let's get him going. Get him on the bike.
All right, get on the bike. You don't get ripped. Hold on, we're getting flashed. Oh my God!
Let's go.
Oh my God, we just got flashed.
Let's go. Who flashed you?
Some lady pulled up in the car, man. Those things are
I don't
cheap.
think she's a lady.
Thank you.
Phone Scooter Tommy, get in here. What's the deal? The gym. I thought the gym did it all.
No.
When he did a girl with no teeth. I swear to God.
And the wig.
Thanks for calling. Phone Screener Tommy told me that Jim did a girl who had only 3 fingers or something weird like that. What was the deal?
It was only 4.
She only had 4 fingers.
Total or just on one hand?
Just on one hand. Jim introduced her to me, and she like reached out and shook my hand. And at first, it was like, oh wait a minute, there's something very odd here. I looked down, it was like, oh, that's why there's a finger missing off the end.
Did she? So she had a thumb.
Yeah, thumb and 3 fingers.
3 fingers.
Yeah.
Was it Marge Simpson? I mean, who was it that?
Big blue bee.
Cartoon character.
And what did you do with her?
Started off, she.
Phone Screener, what did he do with her? I don't want to hear his story. What did he do with her?
Well, the first thing he did was when he first walked in. You know how
Right.
Jim dresses with that red
Did he?
shirt?
What did he do? Just tell me what was the bottom line. What did he do?
He got her drunk and convinced her that he was a stud.
Oh.
Did he have sex with her?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, did he make out with her or something?
He did everything that you could possibly do without getting thrown out of a tavern.
So you like mashed with some woman.
Yeah.
In the bar?
So all right, let's spin the wheel of deformities that Jim has been with. I know he did a woman once who had a fake leg.
Yeah.
He did a woman once who had was it a fake eye?
Well, yeah.
So he did a
It's
woman.
a glass eye.
He did a woman once that had a fake leg. She had like pig leg.
Yeah.
Did you have to take her leg off before you do her?
Well, we did it both ways.
Oh my God. Oh
You would do her with the leg on.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Get some leverage on
And
that.
you'd also do her with the leg off.
Yeah,
Kept
I mean,
falling
it's
over,
doggy
you-
style with the leg
You
off.
did a woman that had a glass eye.
Yeah.
You did a woman that had false teeth, that had no
teeth.
No teeth. She didn't even have false teeth.
No. Nothing.
That was in El Paso. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You did what else did you do?
Jimmy, what is wrong with you?
Hey, they need loving.
There was another one too. There was another one. There was another one there. Didn't you do a girl in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Was that you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a girl in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Somebody in a hospital bed
You
last
did
week.
a girl. Yeah, the girl in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
And now you did. You mashed with a woman that only had 4 fingers.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was,
Man.
when we
Good
first got
God.
there, she thought Jimmy was gay.
Did you ever
Yeah.
do a blind woman,
Not yet.
deaf woman?
No.
What's the oldest?
The oldest.
I don't want to know this.
69.
You,
Hey, but she looked like she was more like 50.
you did.
55
You-
at most.
A 70-year-old woman.
She was 69.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh
Social Security burner.
God.
You did a 69-year-old woman.
Yeah, she said she was 69. I said, hey, I'm a 69.
When did you do this?
A couple years ago.
69 years old.
So she was a
Yeah.
69-year-old woman a couple years ago.
So
So
you-
she's probably what, 75
this-
now?
Was this when you were off the show and you hit rock bottom?
Yeah.
You
Well,
just-
I didn't hit rock bottom, but
She's 69.
hey, she still got it going on
You
too.
hit rock bottom. Which town was she from?
Peoria.
You nailed a 69-year-old woman from Peoria. Where the hell did you meet her?
Well, she's actually the mother of a friend.
Oh man.
You are so
She is not married.
foul.
She hasn't
Oh
been
my
with a guy
God.
in
You know,
years.
I really, every day, I think I've heard it all. Every day, I think that Jim the photographer can't possibly sink any lower.
We hit it
and
off
every
real
day,
good.
I am proven wrong.
How many
I am
times?
proven wrong every day.
How many times you tapped that well?
Twice. The first night when I spent the night with her, and then just once after that because we only hooked up like twice,
Oh.
2 different occasions.
Would you do it again?
Hell yes, that was some good stuff.
She's 75.
She'd be 71 years old right now.
Yep. She'd be like 71.
And
She might be
you-
going on 72 because her birthday is coming.
And
quick.
you would do that again?
Yeah.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
The alarm clock screams and there's a cat butt in my face. I don't want to get up, face the human race. I take a shower, I take a pee, I drink some coffee, watch some TV. But nothing seems to keep my eyes open. Nothing seems to get my blood flowing. Called up a friend of mine and asked what lights a fire under your behind. He says he spells relief. R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here. So clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got guests and breasts and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature and there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite broadcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. I took my friend's advice to heart. I bought myself an FM radio. Now every weekday starts with a visit from the morning disaster show. And now I spell relief. R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here. So clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got guests and breasts and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature, but there's no cure. But they'll be your favorite broadcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's morning disaster.
Oh, good morning. Good Monday morning, everybody. How you guys doing? It is Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. I'm Ray, along with America's sweetheart, Nick Talk _68 or 78.
78.
From TikTok. I'm sorry, world famous Nick Talk 78 and Nikki. You guys are both logged on.
And Nikki.
I said, and Nikki is here. How are you, Nikki?
Yeah,
You-
and Nikki.
Well, you sound good. I like that you're actually, Nick, we've been telling Nikki how to use the software for how long now, right? This morning is the first time she's properly using it.
Is this
Well,
still,
half
still
of
for the
it.
phone?
Yeah, she goes me the other day. She's like, I will not be on the show. And I'm like,
Sounds
why?
really good through
I
the
did
phone.
not say that.
I say, why not? She goes, I'm out of minutes or whatever.
Oh, I
you
did
know.
say that.
And I say, what does that matter? She goes, I'm out of minutes. And I said, Nikki, remember the app we wanted you to get? Yeah. I said, you don't need minutes. That just connects over the internet. She goes, what? And I said, just connect through the app, and I was thinking to myself, no wonder she sounds like shit. She hasn't been connected through the app. She was just dialing it in.
Mhm.
Now you sound actually good.
I can't tell the difference.
Well, we think you sound good.
There's no phone sound.
Yeah. You don't
Mm.
have that
There's none of
shitty
that.
phone sound. You actually sound, proper.
The app's been on the phone since I got it.
I know, but you weren't using it. You were still
'Cause
calling
I
in.
didn't know how to.
Oh, you are unbelievable. You really are unbelievable. I'm just glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she wants to leave. Can't you, Nick? Can't you just tell she wants to she just
Yeah, all
wants
you like, I could just shut this off and go to sleep right now.
Oh, definitely. I'm a disgruntled teenager right now.
Exactly. That's exactly the. What is she gonna do? One of these days we're gonna have her on cam like she's supposed to be. One of these days, we're hoping. Anyway, we are here. Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? That bit where we're the bit I was playing when the show started was when Jim admitted all the different women that all the different elderly women and or disabled women he had been with. Can I point out that was from 2000? So that was 20 years ago. And Jimmy would have been, how old would he have been? 20. Let's see, he would have been, he was probably 50. He was probably right around 50 or 48 when that bit happened. So he was saying that he had hooked up with,
Wow.
and he was like, hey, he hooked up with a 69-year-old woman. And by the way, he lowered the age. She was in her 70s. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a way to start. What's going on, guys? Phone number is 815-414-2125. If anybody would like to call in. Let's start today with the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. I was so shocked, dude. When I heard that, I was watching the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball game on Friday night, and the announcer goes, "Oh, this is shocking news. The man who played Jackie Robinson, Chadwick Boseman, who's also the Black Panther, passed away." And I was like, and I was the only one watching it, and I thought to myself, I go, and I wanted my wife to be in the room. She wasn't in the room when it happened. And I go, "Oh my God." And I go, that's got to be a mistake. There's no way. Because I knew the guy was right around 40 and he was in peak physical condition.
I got the notification on my phone and I almost threw it across the room like it was like a spider landed on me.
Yeah. It was so shocking because, I mean, the guy was an Avenger. He was so fit. He was so young. He was so just a wonderful human.
I didn't know he had cancer.
Yeah, they said he found out what 2000 he was first
16.
diagnosed. He was first diagnosed in 2013, and then it came back at like 2016 or something. And I mean that's so he was making the
To hide it for 4 years.
Yeah, he made all those movies fighting cancer. It was really amazing. And then my wife came into the room and we were just talking about, we were just shocked. And I was like, this is shocking. And I was watching the Dodgers game. That's when I first found about it. And then I went and looked on Twitter. It wasn't even on Twitter yet. And I was like, what the hell? And literally while I was on Twitter is when it hit. And then it just started blowing up. And then I knew it was official when Nick put the black box with white lettering.
It's always official when you see that.
That's what makes celebrity death official for me is when Nick Talk underscores his.
I have to check sources and
Yes.
confirm before I put it up.
But like I said, I don't have to. I just go to your Facebook page and I wait for Nick to put up. Then I'll know the research that we needed was done. It was unbelievable. The guy was, I mean, wow, just horribly sad.
A guy can make 7 movies battling cancer, yet we're still bitching about wearing a mask.
Yeah. And I bitch because my knee hurts when I walk down the hall. Wow.
And that I got to get up early in the morning.
I love the reactions that people had too. Like literally people going, "Oh my God, Chadwick Boseman died. Well, who the fuck's going to be Black Panther now?" It's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
That's what you're worried about.
They'll figure that out. All right. They'll figure it out. Let's sink in what just happened here. I mean, this guy, I don't know if he had any children. I know he was married. But the other thing I saw is the amount of people they said he's been walking around Los Angeles, running out and doing things every once in a while, and people were taking pictures of him, and they had nicknamed him Crack Panther. And people were like, "Oh, Chadwick Boseman has a drug addiction or something." They were, making fun of the way he looked.
See,
so those people got
still what makes me hate people.
They've got to feel pretty shitty, right? They have
They
to,
don't.
They have to feel pretty
They
shitty
don't.
for doing that.
Nope.
Yeah,
If they're willing to post that and make that kind of statement, they have no moral compass as far as the reality of it.
You're probably correct there. You are probably correct in that assumption. Yeah,
I know I'm correct. I'm not probably.
it's sad. It is a sad loss. I'll tell you that. The guy was, well, when he played Jackie Robinson, I mean, this guy played Jackie Robinson. Then they did the James Brown movie. He played James Brown. Then he played Thurgood. Then he played Black Panther. Then he played Thurgood Marshall. I mean, good Lord. I don't know who the hell this guy couldn't have played.
For 4 movies, he played Black Panther.
Yeah, and he knocked those out while he was filming Black Panther, the original one. He had it right, and then he filmed, or first he filmed Civil War, and I guess he didn't have it when he was doing Civil War or something.
It didn't come. I imagine it didn't come. It wouldn't have come back by then.
But Black Panther, he had it during Black Panther, and then Infinity War 1 and Endgame and all that stuff. So, and I was talking, my wife and I were talking, I go, you know what? They would have known. Disney would have known. Because when you do a big movie like that, every actor has to have an examination because they have to ensure a
It's for
production.
insurance.
Yeah, and so they do. Every actor has to get a physical, and it includes scans and stuff, especially when you're the star of the movie or one of the stars of the movie. So there's no way that Disney, and they would have taken blood and all that. So there's in no way he could have hidden that from them. So at least but I'm hearing like the actors and stuff that his coworkers didn't know. But at least the studio would have known. So the people at Disney would have known that he was fighting this. And he looked fantastic. I mean, considering, he had end stage colon cancer, he looked very good. And then
When was the last time he was in public?
probably for press for the last Avengers movie, right? Or no, they were doing awards for Black Panther. I know he was out there for that. And then
How long ago was that?
it was Black Panther, probably 2018. But then
It
he was
came
For
out-
2
yeah,
years?
2008.
he did press for Endgame a little bit. So
Yeah.
I know he wasn't in it very much. He wasn't in Endgame very much. I think by then he was sick.
Hmm.
But yeah, probably 2019 is the last time. Well, then they saw him to take pictures of him and make fun of him for the weight he lost.
Oh, that's great.
I mean,
Bunch of douches.
I couldn't imagine sitting on top of the world as this poor guy was. I mean, literally, he said, he was one of the most, he had become one of the most well-known actors, and a measure of success. He made a movie called 21 Bridges. I think it was the last thing he did. That's the last movie that I saw of his. It's a great movie. By the way, I highly recommend it. And that came out end of 2019. So if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend. He plays a cop, and it's a really good movie. So he's got to be thinking, okay, I'm on top of my game. It doesn't get much better than this. And now they told him there's no way you're going to beat it. I mean, could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine having to come to grips with that. It's so, it's such a sad and tragic story that I just feel so bad for the guy. I certainly didn't know Chadwick Boseman. I was a huge fan of his, but it's so sad that I can't even fathom what he was going through. It really is just a tragedy. Yeah. I can't even, how do you reconcile all that? I would be so angry. Am I wrong? Like, for example,
You just add it to the pile of crap that 2020 has dealt us.
well, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I I think that like my dream in all seriousness, my dream for the longest time has been to do exactly what I'm doing now. This has been my dream, to put together the Morning Disaster Show and do it with no bosses, be able to put it out there on. We've got phone apps. We have no FCC. I've got no bosses. I've got no one telling me this or that. You know what I mean? This is my dream. This is exact. Now, the hard part of the dream is making any money from it. But so say somehow that happens and we get some kind of whatever. I don't even know how the hell. But say you're living the dream. I find a way to make money at it, and I get to do this for as long as I want, and blah blah blah. And then to find out I'm going to die. I mean, it is just,
yeah.
It's the kind of bullshit that that mythology says when you make a deal with the devil. That says you're gonna live to be 150 years old, and then something horrible happens. But
you're gonna do it in a coma.
Yeah, that puts you in a coma. That's the kind of shit that this sounds like. It's like, we're gonna make you the biggest star in the world, but we're gonna give you cancer. I mean, I can't even imagine what the poor guy went through. It's just unfathomably sad. I can't believe it. But he was a fantastic actor. And he, by the way, the Wakanda accent was made up, because I saw some people saying it was amazing because he didn't use his African accent when he was in this movie, when he was in that movie. And I'm like, no, the African accent was fake. The African accent wasn't real. He wasn't from Africa. There is no country called Wakanda. He's from, he was born in the US. The guy, the Wakanda accent was a put on. So I saw a lot of that this weekend. And then of course, I saw a lot of racism and stuff as well. It's horribly sad. Horribly sad. But we start with that. And I just, it's so sad. I wanted to get that out of the way first. The NBA playoffs are continuing. Did you guys watch any playoffs?
Are they playing again?
Yeah, they're playing again.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know.
Lakers clinched their first round series, as did the Milwaukee Bucks and the LA Clippers. And the Boston Celtics and Toronto Raptors, they started the second round series already. So the basketball playoffs are moving along. So even with the players being pissed off last week, I want to give them a credit, because they didn't just bitch and strike for a couple days and then go back to work. No, they actually got something done.
They put their money where their mouth was.
Yeah, the NBA players told the owners of their teams, if you don't do something, we're done. And here's what the owners did in the cities that they marked, including Atlanta, Georgia, Detroit, Michigan, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The NBA players had their owners make the arenas that they play in available to be used as a voting site. So for example, in Atlanta, that's in Georgia. If you live in Atlanta, you got to stand in line for hours to vote, because black people can't vote, because the state politicians in Georgia, they've lowered the amount of locations and the amount of money that is put in to pay for this is how they've deferred voting in this country. They've made it harder to vote by not sending the money. And so the NBA players had the owners use their money. These guys are all billionaires. They had the owners use their money to have their facilities open to work as voting facilities. And they're going to be opening these huge arenas with, thousands and thousands of seats for people to go in and vote in the November 3rd election. So the NBA players actually, this is one of those sports strike things where they actually got something accomplished. So good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
We welcome Rocky to the show now. How you doing, Rocky?
Great. How you doing?
We're doing good. So the NBA players, they actually accomplished something. I mean, I don't know. If more people vote, then I say
It's better than nothing.
yeah. Well, and no matter who wins, I don't understand anyone trying to prevent people from voting. No matter who wins, I had some kind of there was somebody on Facebook that was wanting to debate me this issue, and he was a Trump supporter, and the guy he was not a fan of everybody. And I go, what do you care? I said, this means more people can vote for your candidate. Why are you so anti-vote? And the guy's big thing was, obviously his big thing was he didn't want black people, because he was under the impression that all black people are going to vote for just Joe Biden. And I'm like, who are you to determine who someone can vote for?
That's not true.
Yeah. Because there are black people.
You don't know that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of big fat diamond and silk out there that just can't wait to cast their vote for Donald Trump. And don't just assume that people are, don't just assume they're going to be voting for, who you think they're going to vote for.
Gay people that are voting for Trump.
Yeah. I mean,
makes them feel straight.
Wait.
It does. I mean, it's like, I'm gay, but I'm not like all the other gay people. It's one of those things.
You're claiming that there were
pathetic.
You're claiming there will be gay people that vote for Trump because they want to feel straight?
Well, yeah.
Do you think voting for Trump makes you more straight than not voting for Trump?
Makes you butch, I guess would be the word. The same reason all the Trump people get on the edge. Look tough. I'm a badass. Yeah, I'm a badass. Shit. That's the same thing with gay people. I'm not like all the other gay. I'm a tough. I'm a badass gay. So I'm gonna vote for Trump.
How do they say shit again? Could you do that for me again?
Which one?
You
shit.
You were impersonating a Trump voter saying the word shit. How was that pronunciation?
Badass. Shit.
That was funny on two ends. Rocky saying it and you almost spitting your water.
It's a pile of shit. I love the shit. The high emphasis on the T. I really like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think there's a Y in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm not one who believes that you have to vote. Listen, I'm a Mexican guy. I have relatives that are huge Trump supporters, and they're Mexican. And one of the problems that I have with Trump is because of stuff he said about Mexicans. But I have relatives who they don't care. They just like him, and so I don't believe that just because you're one thing or another is going to determine how you vote. But I definitely feel that you should have the ability to vote. I think we should have the ability to vote from home. If it was up to me, if we could trust the Russians, I would just let us vote over the computer. But I think that everybody should vote. Every vote should be counted. It disgusts me that every time we have these elections, the amount of people that vote is so small. I mean,
you want to tout rights.
Yeah.
You gotta tout them all.
Yeah. Whether you agree with somebody or not, it's good. Everybody should have the right to vote. You want to look at sad voting numbers. Look at every time there's like a municipal election. Look at the voting numbers. It's pathetic. Really is.
A lot of that stuff directly affects your life too. If you're, it's like zoning stuff, whether people are able to operate businesses or not, or how late the bar can stay open. All that local stuff is important, and people just kind of.
In Springfield, Illinois, when there's a mayoral election, I can't believe the voting turnout is not higher. If you don't understand how important local officials are, you're aldermen. I can't believe there's people who live in the city of Springfield that don't even know who their alderman is. That's all.
You're bitching on Facebook about the city council. It's because it's your fault if you didn't vote that they're there.
You don't like the guys who are there, then vote or run or something. So Yeah, I think it's wonderful what the NBA players did. Good for them. They're actually trying to get something done. And you get so sick of people bitching about things, but they're not actually doing anything about it. These guys actually did something about it. And I don't know if it'll make a difference, but it made a difference to them, and they're back at work. Good for them. Anyway, the weekend, Mikey's Car Wash was this weekend. I got a chance to hang out with, listen to this crew, Rocky. It was me, Mikey, Shaner, and RTQ.
Oh, what a bunch of trouble.
By the way, I lined up guests for like the next 4 Friday shows.
Nice.
RTQ's coming on, then we got Mikey's on in 2 weeks. Then Shader's going to be coming on. We got all kinds of stuff lined up, and it was actually really fun. We were over at Recon Techs Saturday is when I was hanging out, and it was actually really fun to see those guys. And a ton of our listeners got car washes and then gave money. Derek from Recon's going to call in to actually give the amount of money that they raised. It was unbelievable. It was that whole street there, that whole black street, like off of 9th, the police came and marked it off between 9th and 8th. So people could pull in on 9th Street and then just park and wait until they got a chance to go through the car wash. And the guys at Recon were, my God, it was nonstop. It was nonstop with them doing cars. It was unbelievable. And then people would get their cars washed, and then they would give a donation. And like I said, the final numbers, Derek has those. He's going to be calling in, but it was truly amazing just to see the amount of people. And I saw a bunch of old fans were there. And here's the other thing. There are a bunch of old fans that had no idea that we were doing this again. Here's what I was doing. I was telling them, I was trying to explain it. They're like, well, just explain it to me. I was like, okay. I was like, do you have a phone? Yeah, just give me your phone. And I was installing the app. I was like, there you go.
Hopefully it wasn't an iPhone, because they'll still be confused.
I was installing the app, and it's saying, there you go. Now you have the morning disaster on your hands. So
It might take them 3 months to figure out how to use it, like me and my phone.
I was going to say, I mean, did you also explain that it's on Facebook and
yeah, of course,
very accessible?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Did you have to explain what the internet is?
if you're on Facebook, listen, the amount of people that share our show in the morning, and everybody listening, please share the show, share it. The amount of shares we get from regular people and businesses and organizations and groups and stuff. If you just haven't been looking, if you haven't seen a link to the live feed or some kind of share of the live feed, what the hell are you looking at? I mean, it's all over Facebook.
Need to invest in a billboard.
Well, I a billboard, I don't know if that, what's that going to do? People are driving. They're not going to type in the address. Let's go to the phones. It's Derek. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great this morning, Raymond. How are you?
I was just talking about the car wash. What were you have the final numbers?
I do. We, you guys raised a total of $3,062, and we matched that for a total of $6,100.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Saturday.
That's
awesome.
Wow.
I couldn't be any happier. Thanks to all your listeners. Thanks to everybody that come out. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, your guys worked there. Derek had everybody working. He had all his employees, a bunch of adults. He had children working. I mean,
hey, we had everybody.
He was putting everybody to work. I'm pretty sure that they would have handed me a rag and had me go out back if I wasn't so comfortably perched in that chair out front.
Absolutely. We're not scared of that.
I'm telling you, your guys did really good, really well.
They had a total of, I think the last count they totaled was 192 cars that went through.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And this, Nikki, it wasn't just some kind of spray off. They were doing
Right.
full on washes. I mean,
It was. They had 2 or 3 different setups that, little stations that everybody had their own little thing, and it worked out real good.
like I I had driven to Jacksonville the night before, and so I had bugs all over my car. And Derek's like, "Oh, we'll go wash your car." And then I felt bad because they had to attach some kind of brush thing, and they had to brush off all the bugs. And yeah, I felt bad. And I'm like,
Nah.
they're just doing this for, nothing. And it was pretty cool. So
It's never for nothing. As long as it's for Mikey, we're
well,
all
yeah,
in.
I mean, yeah, I made my donation, but still, it was on you guys. You personally didn't receive anything for it.
No, we never do. I mean, for stuff like that, I mean, we wanted 100% of that donation to go to Mikey. I don't care what it costed us in the long run. As long as it's for Mikey, that's all we cared about.
He seemed to be in a pretty good mood.
Mikey was in a real good mood. We actually got a chance to sit down with Mikey for, probably a half hour, 45 minutes after everything was all said and done. And couldn't be any happier.
Yeah, it was fun to see. It was fun to hang out with him and Shaner and RTQ. And it was just a lot
Like
of
a little
fun.
family reunion for
Yeah,
you.
dude. We're going to have some fun Friday shows with those guys as guests. I mean, I'm really excited about it. And just excited. I want to thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. And good job.
Thank you guys.
Good job to you, Derek. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Recon Text number 670. By the way, let me give him plugs. Recon Text, one of the fine sponsors of this show. Phone number is 670-1132. Call Derek today. Get a detail scheduled or get a wash, whatever you need. They're doing free steam cleanings and disinfectants when you take your car through a detail. It's Recon Text 670-1132. In fact, talk to them about about getting your car coated. That's still the biggest thing you do, right? It's the coating, Derek.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they'll get you set up, and it'll add years of life to your car, and it'll make it to where you don't have to wax it all the time, which is really nice. It's Recon Text 670-1132. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Good talking to you, Raymond.
There you go. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And I mean, it was I hadn't seen Shaner in a while. And I've talked to him, but I haven't seen him. Shaner looks good. I don't know how I think Shaner and Rocky are like the only ones that didn't get super fat after the show ended. Sorry. Sorry for everybody else, but yeah.
When are you talking about?
I'm saying it's Saturday. I saw at the car wash Saturday. Guy looks great. I'm just thinking of guys that were on the show. Everybody got super fat. Except for you, Shaner. Well, I haven't. Mikey got a little fat. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I was fat around the early 2000s.
you were fat during, but not now. I was fat during. I was fat during and now. There's never been a point I haven't been fat. I was watching the videos. Rocky put videos up. If you're a subscriber to the Patreon page, you see the videos. There's a new one coming out. The new video comes out. I don't know. I schedule those in advance. I want to say it comes out Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, but you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm always fat. There's no video of me where I don't look like just an obese piece of garbage. Like when we do Raymond Lytle days? Did I give you that one?
Yeah, that's coming up.
That's gonna be a multi-part thing though, right?
I'm not really sure how to do that yet.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a big, long concert, and it's stuff before the concert. I was thinking about just doing the concert and then overlaying some of the other stuff on top of the video, so that way you have.
Do it in parts if you want, because then we can just put it out, in so many parts until everybody gets it all. It's just for the subscribers anyway. But
right.
Do I look reasonably? Do I look reasonable? Because that was like 96.
Yes.
Is that before I got super fat, or am I super fat during? Because I saw the one video.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you're also up on a stage, and so the person with the camera is kind of beneath you, looking up, which is the worst angle you could do that.
Oh, so I look really fat.
Yes. Anyone would look fatter like that. So.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I never look good in any of these videos. Even when they're professionally done, like those wrestling ones, that was a professional crew. That was Jim Cloney and those guys from Decatur that filmed that. And I look like shit in that. Oh well. But you guys,
Bodine is in a singlet and looks more in shape.
That's right. And Rich is, I don't know what Rich is wearing. It looks like some type of pajamas. I don't know. And Marvin looks like Marvin. But all I know is I look like shit. If you are a subscriber, you've seen those videos. And do you have a beta machine, Rocky?
No.
Oh, because I have all of those, all like 20 some odd episodes or whatever, but they're on beta. And I don't have a beta machine. So, you know.
And they're hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
at that point, that's more like television studio
because
equipment.
That's what they gave me. They gave me the master from they gave me the master tape from WB23 at the time was the one who did it. So I have the master tape, but I don't know what the I don't know what you play it on, but I've had it for years, and you know.
I have an 8-track recorder, but I do not have a beta player.
Yeah.
Betamax.
So I'll see if anybody, maybe one of these days I'll find someone who has one, and we'll get those dubbed off and get those up for you guys too, your subscribers that go on. So this weekend, did you do anything? What'd you do, Rocky? Anything?
Oh, no, not really. The weekend anymore has become a time for just rest, which, you know, for Terry, because he works like nonstop all week. So then I'm already, so it's just like another day.
So you just chill out.
For me.
You're not gonna find time to get anything done because he's exhausted.
Right.
Nikki, is that when you rest, Nikki's during the weekend?
Yeah. I didn't do anything. The brakes went out on my car.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
What, Nikki having a car? I don't know. That one kind of like took me by surprise too.
I mean, how did you realize the brake? How did you realize the brakes?
I was going down the road and I came up to a stoplight and I pushed the brake and it went all the way to the floor. The brake light came on and my car took a long time to stop.
Do you go anywhere?
No, it's parked now.
But I mean, you know, do you regularly have to go anywhere?
My sister's taking me to my doctor's appointments this week.
All right, so you have someone's giving you a ride.
Mm-hmm.
How's your family doing, by the way?
Better.
All right. Yeah, that sucks. And I don't know where Doran is. I haven't talked to Doran. She sent me a text the other day, but I didn't talk to her this weekend. I thought I would have heard from her after the Black Panther died. I thought she would have sent a text or something, but nothing. I got nothing. Sean Balint is another one who has disappeared. I don't know where he is. But I do know that he was on Facebook. Did you guys see this thing on Facebook where Sean Balint goes, "Ask me anything"?
Yes. Sometimes it's ask Sandy anything. Sometimes it's ask Sean anything.
It's very bizarre, right?
Yes.
I'm not the only one that's weirded out by that whole thing of.
It's like because this is like, it's happened several times. It's almost like there's something he wants to be asked and no one's asked it yet.
Yes.
You know,
That's exactly.
I don't know what it is, but no one's asked it.
That's exactly what I think. I'm like, what does he want? What does he want someone to ask him? It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing.
He wants some beautiful 25-year-old woman to just come out of the woodwork, ask him to marry him and father her children.
No,
that's what he wants. That yes.
No,
that's what he's waiting for.
That's never gonna happen. No one is going. No one's.
As long as Nikki keeps holding out, it won't happen.
Oh, stop it.
No one's gonna come out of the woodwork and ask for the demon seed of a 50-plus-year-old man so they can father a child. Yeah, but no, Rocky's right. It's as if he's waiting. It's as if he's waiting for someone to ask him a question.
Like a specific one.
Yes.
Because people are on there asking questions. There's people that ask ridiculous questions. There's people that ask serious questions.
Yeah. And he answers
So,
them.
but we're not on the track. We're not on the right track. I mean, they're not asking the questions he wants asked, I don't
The
think.
one he wants. I don't think anyone has asked the question that he wants them to ask. I'm going to call him. We'll see if he'll answer. I don't know if he'll answer, but I'll at least try to call him.
Because usually an ask me anything is a specific
Yeah.
person with a specific job or something.
It's like, ask me anything about blah, blah, blah. Like I would say,
Like
if anyone wants to ask me anything about what it's like working with Rocky, like you give parameters.
yeah, like if somebody's a paramedic, like
yeah.
I'm a paramedic during this pandemic, ask me anything.
Sean Bellet, feel free to text.
Sean is like, just ask me anything, period. And then I see people asking him questions about just the weirdest shit on his Facebook. It's like,
I don't really see what are the weird questions.
well, like they'll say, Sean, what do you think about the PGA tournament? But like the PGA tournament,
Oh.
what the hell Sean Bellit know about the PGA tournament?
Well, he's the news guy.
And then the next question will be like, what do you think about the council in whatever small town? And they'll ask him to comment on that. Or what do you
Well,
think?
he would be the person to ask.
It's amazing the roundabout scale of questions that he gets from people. It's very bizarre. But he's never specific about ask me about what it's like working in Springfield, or ask me about what it's
He
like.
seems to be just getting more and more ridiculous. That's
So-
just my opinion.
So you're getting angry about it.
Yes, when Nikki's getting angry, she needs to step in.
I'm not getting angry. It's just some of
start
that stuff's
reprogramming.
ridiculous.
So Nikki's gotten mad. Nikki's getting mad at the segment. Rocky and I are bewildered by it. We're just,
I am too. It's
Very
just
passionate.
ridiculousness.
yeah, he is. Meanwhile, you can tell that she's getting there's an anger to it.
Oh,
There's a passion.
God.
A passion.
No, I think that
Oh,
Rocky's right.
God.
I think that there is a question he wants people to ask him. Because literally he does it's all the time. Every time I go to his Facebook page, I don't even go to his Facebook page. Every time I go on Facebook, one of the things up is Sean Bellit going, "Hey, it's time for Ask Sean Anything." I mean, it's every single day. People just asking him, bizarre questions. That's all it is.
So how long before it's Ray ask me anything?
Well,
Because that seems to be a trend. Make fun of Sean for something,
No,
and then we do it
no,
ourselves.
No, I have never done a ask me anything.
Yeah, I'm saying, when is that? That's forthcoming?
No,
When is that going to happen?
No, I have. No, Sean's been doing this now for a while.
Right.
I have one thing. I used to log on every once in a while and go on camera, and I just, and just BS with people. But now I don't. Now I'm on camera every day, so I'm kind of, it's almost like too much. But I'm just saying, Sean shameless. There's no, there's no part of him that says, I think there's all of us have that little part of us that go, this might be too much.
Right.
Well, he put up that post about somebody can nominate him, like he was surprised.
Yeah.
For the Unway
Next thing you know,
Times.
we're nominated.
But I will,
How did that happen?
I will say that we did sort of, we ended up getting nominated in that, but we did. But listen, I have never shared that and said, please vote for us. There's the difference. He wasn't even nominated and he was begging people to vote for him.
But he was all like, someone said they can nominate me?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Well,
Nobody said that. You're doing it yourself.
See, I haven't.
That was probably one of the Ask Anything questions. Somebody probably asked him, Sean, can I nominate you for Illinois Times?
Nobody asked him. I'm telling you, nobody asked him. He asked him.
Yes.
I just
Very
want to.
much
I want to
so.
go to his page and find what some of these questions are that people asked him. Ask me anything again. All right, and here's some of the comments. Let's see. Any updates on the officer that was in critical condition? Yeah, that's a good question. That was a news question that Sean's covered. So that's what I would expect. Okay. Something like that. Give me the details of this news story. And then here's the next question. Hey, Sean, do you have any 54 mulching blades or impact sockets? What the hell is that?
Sounds like the garage sales show or something.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the next question is, all joking aside, how is Sean Balint? You guys want to hear his answer?
Now that's so open-ended. He could have taken that and for anything he wanted it to mean.
So you're saying that the guy asking the question might be Sean? Is that what you're implying?
Those are your words.
So Sean says, I know it's been a rough few years, my friend. Been bad for both of us. Sure hasn't gone the way I planned on this end either. Honestly, I see a glimmer of hope on your end. While I currently don't have the equipment to listen to WSMI, I have in the past. That's how I become familiar with such radio greats as, and he's talking, I don't know, he starts talking about radio. Here's someone who says, how much wood does a woodchuck chuck?
Of course.
And he actually answers it. It depends upon the trees in the area. Oh, for God's sakes. How many states will the Donald carry in November 2020? So Sean guesses 28. The next question is, do you like anal?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, this is from Kramer. Keith Kramer says, do you like anal?
Oh, Lord.
Sean says, I'll have to assemble a. Why would he answer that question? Don't even accept the premise of the question and answer. Why? This is where he screws up. So Sean says, I'll have to assemble a focus group on that. Actually, that might be a bad idea. Let's see some of the other questions. Sean, when's the first snow going to be?
What is the Farmer's Almanac?
I don't know. This is the kind of stuff. This is the stuff that he answers. So
it's like it even says, "Ask me any." Are you on the one that says, "Ask me anything"? That's an order.
No, I just the first whatever the first. I'm the one that says, "Ask me anything again if you feel like it."
This was 2 days ago. It says, "Ask me anything." That's an order.
Here's some of the other questions. If you had to choose one, dying by getting ate by a shark, or be eaten by a shark, or falling into a volcano's lava pit, or being buried alive and slowly suffocated to death, what would you choose? Happy 2020. What would you think? What would you think that Sean would choose?
Lava.
He says, "I'll go with the volcano."
Yep.
Yeah.
Favorite concert ever? He's torn between Paul McCartney, Bruce Springsteen, and the Jets.
The Jets.
I found out I've got a crush on you. How did you know? I think that's the Jets.
Yes, it is.
How would he grouped them with Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen? Let's see.
I loved you. You didn't feel the same. Though we're apart.
Here's
make it real. Is that what that is?
Here's a girl called Sheila who says, "Sean, what's your favorite color?" You guys will take a guess. What's Sean's favorite color?
Sheila.
What is Sean's favorite color?
Blue.
It is blue.
Pink.
Nikki,
Oh.
you know, Nikki, you know you're Sean Balint.
Yes. She's
just
been
checking
studying.
The next one is Sean. When's the next big earthquake that's going to strike the New Madrid Fault? He actually fucking answered it.
No.
Somebody asked him about whether what he thinks about WMAY going to the old WQLZ frequency. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about it. Yeah, I think it was your husband that sent me. Your husband sent me a. I don't know if Terry told you. He sent me a thing saying, "Hey, did you see this? What are your thoughts?" And I go, "My thoughts are fuck them." But yeah, I didn't see Sean's reply to it. I don't know. It doesn't affect. You know what I mean? It's about. I'm not going to comment on it. It's not my situation. Fuck it. I think you're going to be putting on a better frequency. I would suggest having a better product, but that's just me.
Right. Well, maybe that's the plan.
Let's see. Sean, if you could interview anyone alive or dead, who would it be? And what's the first question you would ask? Who do you think he would pick? If you could interview anyone alive or dead, who would Sean pick?
It would be a general, I want to say like a MacArthur or like general or one of the generals of the Civil War.
You're
not say Princess Diana.
No, it's no,
she's
but,
too.
But listen,
that's a fluff interview.
He picked the prime minister, Winston Churchill.
Okay.
That's not. I mean,
Rocky's
it's not
right.
too far off. Yeah. He goes, "What would have been different if the assassins took out Hitler?" This is the question you would ask him. What a boring question.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that it is bizarre because
He's somewhere between Farmer's Almanac and the crazy 8-ball or whatever.
But
that
I think
thing
Rocky's
is.
right. I think so. I think he wants
And
someone.
the Time Life collection that keeps coming to your house with more information on World War II.
I think he wants someone to ask him a certain question that they're not asking.
And it ain't about no Civil War either.
That's the feeling I get, is that he's waiting for a specific question that no one has asked. Like, I want to start.
Like, what are you doing Saturday night from a female?
Uh-huh.
Something like that. From a female named Nikki.
What would
No.
What would it take for you to nail Nikki?
Stop it.
I'm just saying that,
Don't drag me into this mess.
just saying maybe that's where he's going.
Mm-mm.
You guys seem to still be on the same page, you and Sean.
I'm not on any page.
I see a lot of likenesses. Rocky, am I the only one?
Yeah, there's more than corners yellowed on that page.
Yeah.
Been on that
Ew.
page for a while.
Yeah.
Binding is broken to that page.
I thought the two of them were going to hook up in like 97 or 98 or whatever. Except Sean got
We
that one
never hooked up.
girlfriend. Sean got that one girlfriend.
Nope.
Broke his heart.
The weirdest thing was he left underwear in my car and sat on me in his pants off. And that was about it.
I think the weirdest thing is barging in on him in a shower and
Yeah.
taking a picture of him and posting it in the
That was
studio.
Bodine.
Taking a picture of his dong.
That was Bodine.
I mean, who takes a picture of a
He was
guy's?
behind me pushing me.
Who's taking a picture of a dong?
My eyes were closed.
It's very weird. No pictures of my dong running around. I'll tell you that.
Catch it, catch it.
He apparently
running
liked
around.
it because he left it up on the bulletin board.
Yeah, if that would have been me. That picture, I would have taken that picture down immediately, and I'd have said, "This shit doesn't fly." But you're right. He just
It runs around, but it
He-
doesn't fly.
he just left it up. He did it. He just left it up for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, why the fuck would you want everyone to see? Why would you want everyone to see that? Remember, there was a one picture of him in the Hooters outfit or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. With the shorts.
There's another one he left up. Why would you leave that up?
Well, that's more like funny, you know.
He looked ridiculous in that photo. I don't get it. I'm telling you, he was waiting for, I think you're right, Rocky. I think he was waiting for someone to ask him a question that he didn't get, which is why he keeps doing the Ask Sean Anything every day.
Yeah, the Ask Me Anything is usually somebody that had a specific thing, like, I worked on the original Star Wars movie, Ask Me Anything,
Yes.
or, that kind of thing. I was on Survivor, Ask Me Anything.
It's like if I ever did any kind of, I've never done a Ask Me Anything, but I would be specific, like, to give parameters. Like Terry's in the chat room going, do you believe in anal bleaching? Trust me, he would answer that. Even though
Yeah, that's a simple no, and we move
You
on.
would have some sort of opinion on it.
No.
DC says Sean's looking for a dom to take him in. Maybe that's what he's into.
Oh, I saw that. And I thought it said Doran. Looking for Doran to take him in.
I'm telling you, he's got, I don't know. He knows what he wants someone to ask. Jason says the question he's waiting on is, want to go eat my treat? Yeah, that'd be my question. I would love, well, not so much now because of this whole COVID thing, but I would love getting invited to go to lunch with people. You know what I mean? I like going to lunch with people. I hate paying for it, but I like going to lunch with people. Except
I was gonna
now,
say, you have to pay for it every time.
because the only one I go to lunch with is Sean. And when I go to lunch with Sean, it's always, hey, Kimosabi, want to go to lunch? He'll ask me.
Right.
Now, when someone asks you, like Rocky, if I said, hey, I'm going to be in town, you want to go to lunch? Who would you assume is paying?
You.
Well, it depends because you're in town, so you're kind of a guest. But somebody who lives here, I would assume the person asking is paying.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
because they brought it up.
Like, yeah,
it's like you don't ask that to somebody so you can get a free meal.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a free meal. Want to go eat?
This is what happens with Sean. He calls me out of the blue and he goes, hey, Kimosabi, you want to go eat? Yeah. So I assume he's inviting me to lunch, which means Sean's going to pay for lunch, right?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's coming in from a different state or something like that you haven't seen, usually it's the person who, there's a different whatever. But yeah, if you're two friends that live in the same town and one just calls the other one up, it's the one that calls is the one that pays.
Hey, let's go to lunch, right?
Or at least offers to pay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, or you can go out there and say, ask me anything in hopes that someone's going to go on there and say, hey, here's what I want to ask you. You want to go to lunch? How do we know he's not just looking for free lunches with this? Speaking of Sean Blitz, Sean Blitz on the phone.
What's it like to be so talented and work on a show full of losers?
Hello, Sean.
That was the question he was waiting for.
Hey, what
my ears were burning.
Did you intentionally have to turn down your talent every day just to be a part of that show?
Hey, what question? What question are you wanting people to ask you that you keep doing Ask Sean everything or anything every single day on your Facebook?
You know what? I find it to be fun. A lot of times it fizzles. I mean, the other day though, it just exploded. I mean, like all kinds of interesting questions. I love questions like that. One, if you could interview someone, who would you interview? I
Winston.
I don't know. It's a fun exercise.
You said Winston Churchill. You would not.
Yep.
You would not interview Winston Churchill.
Oh, I'd be all over it.
Who would want to listen to that? You know damn well that interview would devolve into who makes the best pastries.
It would have been my finest hour. But I think it could have totally impacted the Cold War,
Your
Could be,
interview was going to
ramifications.
impact the Cold
So,
War.
oh, you're going to interview him in
No,
1940.
if Winston Churchill wasn't booted out by the voters and post-war fatigue, if Winston Churchill's there, maybe the combined Churchill-American anti-communism thing, maybe it pushes, maybe it helps, Chiang Kai-shek over in China hold off the communists,
Oh, for
and then look at
God's
today's world.
So you're
Korea,
talking, you're
Korean War, Vietnam,
you would go
and-
back in time and interview him. You wouldn't interview him now.
and I would interview him now. Like if he could come out of the grave, Sir Winston, if you served another term, and I think he served another term, but it was quite a few years after that. If he was there instead of the forgettable Clement Attlee, maybe China doesn't go red, and we don't have this communist capitalist hybrid that threatens to, destroy our economy
That's who you would interview.
in the long run.
If you could
Yep.
interview anybody, anyone, that's who you would interview. A guy who's been dead for 90 years or whatever, however long it's been.
It's Tim or JFK
You would interview
or Marilyn
JFK?
Monroe.
What
Oh,
I
I'd love
said
to- I think
Princess
it'd be-
Diana.
What question are you waiting for? You want people to ask you a question that they haven't asked you yet.
No, not really. I can't. I find it to be like batting practice, and you never know where the pitch is coming. And
You notice I never ask
Yeah.
any questions in this segment. The ask
I
Sean
noticed that.
anything. I can if you
Well,
like.
you have a show where you ask the questions like
Like
right
next,
there.
I'm gonna type in. I'm gonna
live.
say, where do you hide? And I'll try to compliment you. I'll try to compliment you. And I'll say, where do you hide your massive balls when you are Sandy on New Year's Eve?
You know what? Well,
Trade secret.
I gotta watch. As always, I gotta watch what I talk about. But there's actually no. I'll just say there's no mitigation procedure.
What?
Oh, so you're actually answering the question. There's no mitigation. You scrunch them in the underwear super tight.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
I guess, yeah.
So you would answer. In other words,
Like
you
Tom
would
Brady.
you would
Like
answer.
Tom Brady against the Raiders in the playoffs.
You would answer that ridiculous question. Is what you're getting at.
The edgier questions that would cause me problems with current and future employment, those get to be inboxed.
What's
If I find something's problematic, that's where that goes.
What's the worst question you've ever been asked?
Usually it's how many guys was what's the biggest number of guys that cheated on that your ex-girlfriend cheated on you with? I mean, that's any ex-girlfriend, not one specific one.
No one
but,
asked a question
you know,
like,
usually it involves someone doing things, and whoever the ex-love interest would be being more entertained and more enjoying time with my replacement.
so
You know,
if,
stuff like that.
if I go, Sean, when did you stop being a racist?
Oh, that was probably about 1987. You know.
So you would answer that question.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's the 80s. I thought, you know, it's not good on the resume, and you know, you go from there.
So there's no question that you yell at anyone for asking. And is Rocky correct when he assumes that you'll answer in a very insulting fashion the morning disaster questions? Like, what were the ones you were giving Rocky? Like, what was it like hiding your true talent when you were working with all those hacks?
No, that's not what I was referring to.
Adjusting your talent.
Yes.
No, I would be referring to 2014 to 2020.
When people I like the worst.
So-
What's the worst thing you've said about Ray Lytle in any of these questions? I'm sure he said
So
some
that, so
I'm
yeah,
sure
you
you've
guys are
said
reading that
some
more. You're reading that.
horrible.
And I don't think I was surrounded by hacks per se, but I don't think my full talents were utilized in my last go round. I will say that. So no, it was not a reference to the disaster years. The disaster years was, I think what I said this with Rocky. The great thing about it is it was such a great group think effort that we'd all stitch ideas together. I thought it was. I thought that was the best part, and
why do you keep it? Why is it so open
went through a
ended?
period where my ideas were frowned upon.
Why is it so open ended? How come it's not specific? Like, ask me anything about, and put some parameters.
That's not how it's done.
No, that is
That's
how
part
it's
of the fun.
done.
It's part of the
That's
challenge.
100% how it's done. It's usually
No, it's ask me anything. It's not ask me anything about.
It's a specific thing. Like when they do it on Reddit, it usually has to do with,
It's the person that's specific though, that not the questions. Like I was on Survivor, ask me anything. They'll still ask what's your dick size. Seriously, it doesn't matter. I was the paramedic who saved 3 children's lives. Dick reveal? I mean, it's the person that's specific, not the question. And then it's just ask me anything.
Sean, has anyone asked you for a dick reveal during your Ask Me Anything segment?
Once again, the current job. Yeah, but anyway,
you couldn't
Have
answer.
you been asked something like that where it's just completely like ridiculous?
Where you
because I see that all the time.
Could you not
I think
answer
people
that?
realize
Favorites,
that-
it'll be somebody that the meme guy that looks happy but he's sad on the inside. He's a foreign guy. He's the older guy. He did a whole ask me anything, and it was like favorite sexual position and how many times do you fart a day. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Not like how has this being a meme changed your life? Have you been able to make money off of it? Do people recognize you? Yeah, that was one of the first questions, and then it starts getting ridiculous.
I'm really surprised I've gotten more of that. I guess those folks have moved on because I never identified the person. There was the heckler who just screwed. I mean, you've told this story before. My first day down in St. Louis anchoring.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard this one yet, Rocky.
I love this story.
But I went through a hell of a time in the late 90s. I was targeted by a little twit, a talentless twit. You remember the god-awful Party and Peg, I imagine. One of the worst broadcasters I've ever encountered. No, the worst. Who hatched a scheme to take my job. And then she didn't understand that sexual harassment allegations have to involve something sexual, not two people from two genders not getting along. I think it's dumb.
God.
I mean, if she had any
Hey, I had a
intelligence,
sexual harassment thing that was attempted to be brought up against me.
yeah.
It wasn't her. It was a different person. It was
I
a different
think it
woman.
was her. I think it was
No.
her.
It wasn't Party and Peg.
It wasn't?
Come up with-
I do remember laughing.
come up with
I do
something
remember
actually
laughing when
sexual.
someone made the Rocky sexual harassment.
It's like, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
And then
remember
that lovely
laughing.
woman from 20 years ago I mentioned.
And I remember having a
accused me of
conversation.
stalking her.
I remember having a
City council
conversation with
meeting.
someone where I go, so they're claiming Rocky did this. So they're saying Rocky has
geez.
a sexual interest in them.
In this
okay.
woman.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I stick by you that much.
Hmm.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Yeah.
I
Who
once.
completely
love the
denies it, by the way, now. I don't know about
She-
now, but like
what?
20 years ago, she was completely denying it.
I
Uh-huh.
once
Like, yeah,
had,
well, I can see that.
you guys, I'll tell you this. I once had someone claim that I did something, that I said something. And it was so unbelievable. I mean, when they brought it to Glenn Gardner, who was our general manager at the time, he laughed because he thought it was so ridiculous that they were saying it against me. And by the way, they said it when a bunch of us were in the same room together when this woman claimed that I said something that I just did not say. I mean, it's unbelievable. And also, I mean, I don't want to call someone out for looking like someone's grandmother. But anyone who knew me, number one, that I just don't do that. Number two, that I certainly wouldn't if I was going to do it, I certainly wouldn't choose someone who looked like they were 30 years my senior.
So the Donald Trump defense. She's not hot enough for me to
Well,
harass.
I don't think you were in the room, Rocky, but
Trump.
there was a girl that we worked with. There was a girl that we worked with who I'm trying to remember all the details. We were in.
Well, let's not do details like names.
No, I'm not gonna. I won't do that. We were in a production studio, and it was a person claimed that they walked in the production studio, and I said, and that I, in front of everybody, made some statement about come on over here and sit on my blank or whatever, and which just was not. It just would never be said.
Right.
And then when the allegation was given to Glenn Gardner, he laughed, but he goes, I've got to follow through with this. He goes, I've at least got to ask you. Sean, I think it's
you never know. It could be.
Sean, I think it's when we shared the office. Remember when I was program director, we shared that office. And
Yep.
also I was program director.
Tiny
at the
little
time.
office.
So he had to actually come ask me about it. And I was like, what? So he had to go interview everyone who was in the room. And everyone that was in the room goes, are you out of your goddamn mind? Have you?
Sure, they said that to the boss.
No,
right.
but
Okay.
they're like, you see who,
goddamn mind.
are you out of your goddamn mind? Like, you do see who raised Mary.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like-
but you're out of it.
It's like, you do
His
see
name is
who,
first accolade because I had not been sexually harassed.
you see who Ray's married to, right? I'll tell you guys off the air.
Again, the Donald Trump defense. You see my wife.
Well, I'll tell you who made the allegation one of these days, and
Ooh.
you will.
Oh, okay.
You
One of
will.
these days.
You will.
Mine, I never actually found out what I was supposed to have done or said because it was dropped so fast. It was like, oh. But I don't know what I did or said, but there was supposed to be something.
I'll tell you that woman was told two words. He's gay.
Yeah, and then
And
it
then
was
it
like,
was immediately dropped.
it was dropped like a bad habit.
Mhm.
But I never
That
heard
would not
what the actual allegation was.
I can tell you my response when I heard it was, he's gay.
Like, yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh my God. Rocky, I'm gonna send you. Hold on. I'm gonna send you the name of the person who made the allegation against me. I don't know if you got. Did you get that? I said it, Rocky. I just sent it to your Facebook Messenger.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Which is crazy. I mean, literally. She's got to
And
be.
you know, that's somebody that's been working with you for a long time. and
Yes.
There's no reason for that.
No, she's got to be 20 years my senior, at least, which is insane. But I was once asked, I don't know if it was official or not, but I was
Many
once,
times.
they inquired about that. I know it was probably, I remember what I said. I go, are we sure Sean Boleyn didn't say that to this woman? Because,
Or Jim the photographer.
well, Jim would have, by the way, Jim would
And
have
how do
done
you
it.
work with him and then everybody else? Isn't that bizarre? It's like all three of us, but Jim gets away with whatever. Pussy inspector badge 24/7, walking around with that.
The man put his dick in a hot dog bun and showed everyone the picture. It's just insane. It's just insane. Do you remember the time though? The time we had when Dave the lawyer brought in he actually wrote up the complaint about the sexual harassment charge for Jim. It was somebody up front. He got her to. He wrote up a whole thing and actually served Jim on the air.
Oh yeah, I remember the surveying him.
Yeah, and it was a sexual harassment thing. But as funny as it was all true. I mean, that's the shit that Jimmy did all the time. He was
Yeah,
constantly.
none of that would fly now.
No, of course no. He would be locked up. So part of me is like, I'm sad because Jim's gone, but the other part of me is like, well, if he wasn't gone, he would certainly not be that popular, or there's a lot of stuff that he couldn't get away with today that he could get away with them. So Sean, are you saying that you that you never get any questions that would be insulting to us when you do this Ask Me Anything?
Not really. I get asked about Jimmy once in a while, but that's about it. But not too many disaster questions.
Good. I would hope that you wouldn't.
I mean, I'll get them, but I probably said, I probably addressed everything in previous editions of Ask Sean Anything.
So if I go back to your Facebook, I'm not going to find anything that's insulting to me.
I don't think so, no. I mean, there's always plausible deniability, Oh, I didn't know Jim was going to do that. I had nothing to do with that.
Because I could see, I'm trying to think of what's the worst thing that Sean would say about me. I can't think of, I got to be honest, I can't think of anything bad other than I could see Sean saying something like, well, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he doesn't understand how it hurts when he goes too far. I can see some kind of answer like
Right.
that, but outside of that,
I wonder how much further I'd be in my love life if it wasn't for Ray and his constant tampering.
yeah, some of Ray's comments would cost me relationships. I could see him making something like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, what's interesting, and this is just the nature of the beast. It was a beast that was being created, but it's interesting you bring that up because, as you'll recall, there was one relationship that we had a lot of details on the air. I don't think there was anything sinister. It was just, this was an organic thing where the show kind of incorporated elements of what reality TV would be. And, it's not even that anybody sabotaged, but it's funny, especially in Springfield, which can be a real fishbowl. The glare of the world, it was almost like a social media effect before social media. And that's kind of the interesting thing about the show. The show was kind of social media before there was social media.
That's
hey,
true.
I saw Bullet, and he was kind of he got in trouble with his girlfriend, or
people would
hey, I
call
saw
us.
Bullet at the theater. He went to see Chicago by himself.
They would call
stuff
us
like that.
They would call us constantly, ratting you out for stuff that you're right. Today would be shared on Twitter. I do remember when remember when a guy called and said they worked at the movie theater and Sean Bullitt went to go see Chicago. Sean went to go see the musical Chicago by himself. I remember taking that call.
You couldn't get away with anything. But it was interesting. I mean, it was like we had elements of the stuff that would come to television later, and it was something that your life became kind of like a reality show. And of course, I had Spy Dean finding my very information.
When
songs I'd written and other things.
When Bodie lived with
Mr.
you,
Blint,
he would.
Mr. Blint, peace overnight, not Mr. Raymond.
Rocky, do you remember the mornings that Bodie would come in and he'd have a tape, and he'd go, "Oh, I taped Sean last night."
The first time I saw your face, I knew in that November rain or whatever.
Oh, I could have
First time I saw you, took my breath away.
Took my breath away. Yes.
La, da, 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 on that cold November day.
Kevin Perkins might have changed it, taking her breath away. A different way.
I still remember when Sean wrote that. When Sean wrote that song, and Mikey and I start playing it. I was like, "Wait a minute!" Da, 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 da. And when we played it, we realized that it was Poison's "Every Rose Has Its Thorn." And it was a Poison song. He just changed it. It was crazy. I should find that bit. We got.
Bret Michaels was going to sue me, and then he saw how miserable my life was, and changed his mind.
Bodie would constantly record like Sean snoring or Sean singing or talking to
I just
himself.
remember the ass shaving thing.
What?
Coming back with that story.
He shaved his
Well.
ass.
Well, it's been fun.
How would he know that you shaved your ass?
I don't know. You know, the door didn't always shut on the bathroom door, and I think Pete Dean would occasionally monitor my activities.
Isn't that, Nikki? Wasn't that what led to where we had you judge who had the hairiest ass?
I have no idea.
Yeah, there was
What
some sort
made
of
me do that.
contest.
Yeah, we had Nikki judge it. She judged the who had the hairiest ass contest. By the way, Sean won, everybody. Should be.
Was it Sean? I thought it was Mikey.
No, I thought
It wouldn't have been Sean. He was freshly shorn.
Oh, that's right. That's why we did it. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it was
somebody
Mikey.
Made nice seat covers out of me.
All I know is it wasn't me. Thank God. I don't have there's not a lot of hair on my person. I'm not an overly hairy person. You know,
That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
As much as I wanted facial hair, like I wanted a mustache like Burt Reynolds, I would, I love where I don't look like a third world convict if I don't shave for
Like
10
if you took off your shirt right now, how covered would your chest and back and stuff be with hair?
You know,
Doesn't ask me anything.
Yeah, that's a question people should ask. Like
Yeah,
how
let's see
much how much hair and
see if
stuff?
I can offer. Yeah.
Yeah, look at it. I can see it on his chest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're too low in the camera to see much of it, but you can see it. Yeah, you're just a hairy guy. And it's all
I
gray.
didn't want to ruin.
Well, it's all gray now, so it doesn't show up great on cam, but
Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't. Yeah, I guess it doesn't.
it's unbelievable how I'm just not a hairy person. Like here, like my
Yeah.
chest, you can't even, I don't have any, you can't even see it. Literally.
Well, I always like the 70s guy was my model of what I aspired to. You know, Tom Selleck, and you want to be a guy like that. And that was in vogue then, and now it's, you know, quite the opposite.
It's a sexual offender. The mustache. Go to a sexual offender site. Step one. Step two, filter out all the lesser violent people. Just keep the real bad people. Step three, look them all over. Notice something they all have in common. And then step four, ask yourself if you really want a mustache.
Yeah. Do you want a taint tickler, Sean?
Oh, gee.
The weirdest thing.
Double T, baby.
All right, so
Double T.
I'm gonna ask
Thanks, Squire.
I'm gonna ask some weird questions that people should ask. I'm gonna ask questions that people should ask Sean when they do ask Sean anything. I'm going to give you some of those weird questions in just a second.
Make sure you check out the Morning Disaster app on iPhone and Android. You'll find the app in Google Play and the iPhone App Store. The app is brought to you by Recontex. It's time for you to get detail-oriented. They can clean your car inside and out, and consider this a tsunami warning. If you don't get a fresh coat of tsunami from Recontex, your car is going to look old and tired. Call 670-1132, 670-1132, and schedule your detail today. Recontex, 820 East Black Avenue, Springfield.
You know, I love it when we have listeners that will take our advice and go to someplace like what happened with Hendricks Home Furnishings. I've already had Hendricks Home Furnishing has been advertising on the show for not even a week. It hasn't even been a week. And I've already had listeners that have told me they've gone to Hendricks and they've had such a great experience. And they say thank you. That makes me feel, you guys, that makes me feel fantastic that you go and exactly what I told you was going to happen happens. That makes me feel great. Hendricks Home Furnishing is in Verdon. If you want a couch or a chair or any type of furniture for your home, I want you to try Hendricks. It's in Verdon. It's a short drive, and you are taken care of. And you're treated so well that you'll end up having a really, really a pleasant furniture buying experience. It makes me happy, and I love it when people let me know. It's fantastic. That happened this weekend. Hendricks Home Furnishings, let me give them a plug and tell you guys right on Route 4. Just head straight down to Verdon and go in there next time you need a piece of furniture. Go to Hendricks. Let them show you what they can do. I have a Hendricks recliner in my house. I know Sean's got one. I know Sean's actually got one too.
I most certainly do.
And it's amazing, and their delivery is top notch. They're a top notch place, Hendricks Home Furnishing in Verdon. Also, I want to welcome to the show a spot. Come on, you guys knew. If you haven't figured out, we're opening up new rotations for sponsors September 1st. But we went early with this one because I think all of you knew eventually that this company would be advertising with us, and that's Head West Subs. Because Head West Subs, it's what I have for lunch all the time. It's my favorite sub stop. It's probably my favorite restaurant because I eat there more than anywhere else. Head West Subs, they're all over. You guys know they're on West Jefferson. They're on the west side on Robbins Road. They're on the northeast side up on Denver Drive. Of course, they've got Head West in Jacksonville. They've got Head West in Decatur. They've got it on South 6th Street in Springfield. No matter where you are, there's a Head West nearby. It's what you should have for lunch. It's Head West Sub Stop. Try a Head West sub today. I want to plug them as well. And of course, let's say hi to Corey at Core Installation, Furniture and Supply. Core Installation has your COVID quantities of masks, wipes, gloves, sanitizer, and everything you need to get through the pandemic. And they've got it for great prices. Like for $10, you can get 300 wipes of these wipes that you can wipe down the bathroom, the kitchen, living room, doesn't matter. Your hands. If you have a business and you have a bunch of customers that are going to be touching things, these are the kind of wipes that you would have. They will disinfect everything. Call Corey at 671 or at 741-1079. That's 741-1079. Call Corey and let her get you set up with everything you need to get through the pandemic. And literally, she just got a huge supply of these wipes in. So if anyone's interested, shoot her a call. And these are these wipes that are impossible to find. You know, everybody's always looking for these different types of sanitizer wipes. Let her get them for you. 741-1079. All right, Sean. I was going to ask you some questions now. These are the questions that I want people to ask.
All right, hopefully I don't recognize anything.
It's not going to be
Hit me.
It's not going to be anything, you know. It's not going to be anything about your hairy ass.
Okay.
Or anything about, it's not going to be about your penis. But I think that people should ask, you know, get your take on things that are less, I don't want to insult the people that ask you questions, but it's a lot of boring questions. Nikki, am I right? It's a lot of boring questions.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, Sean, what do you
They
think?
need to get more I don't know, imaginative with it.
Yeah. Throw some imagination into the
If
question.
you're gonna ask a question, make it a good one.
Yeah. Why do you want to waste the
Well, I'm
question?
letting the people be the creative ones. That's
Who's going to
the
be?
whole shtick of it.
I see Sean's taking selfies of himself. Who's going to?
No, I got a problem. Okay, there's something about my head.
Yeah.
The crown or something is off center, so I'm constantly putting on my hat, and I'm adjusting my hat because I have all these pictures where I look like I'm a wannabe rapper.
This is what you're concerned about. That's what you're concerned about.
Yeah, my head is asymmetrical or something. I don't know.
You are unbelievable. All right.
I know.
So I'm waiting for people to ask you questions where you have to give real answers. Okay. Like maybe somebody says, who is the hottest girl you worked with on the Morning Disaster? Because I want to see you answer that and not piss off someone.
Right.
I mean,
Good luck stepping through that
Yeah.
minefield.
Let's hear it, Sean.
You know, I'd probably have to say Ashley X.
Ashley, yeah. She was on for like a week. She was never an official
That's
member.
kind of a,
It's a lot happened in that week.
Yeah.
yeah. Other, you
Hmm.
know,
That was your jam.
Mikey actually, Mikey tried to get me to weigh in on Michelle or Doran. It's like I'm not touching that.
A Michelle or Doran, like,
That was kind of like
as in
that
what?
was kind of like a nice. That's kind of like a nice escape hatch. Trying to find some.
Like to judge by what?
Sure, that wasn't Billy. I can tell you that.
Oh, it wasn't Billy.
Sure, no.
I know you weren't a fan of Billy.
What she said, but we were pretty chummy, and she said something so insulting and in such an insulting tone, calling me like some kind of cow or something. I really wasn't that big at the time, but I just never. It was just.
You're saying Billy said
It was-
Billy said something that hurt your feelings so much that you
It
changed
was,
the
you
way
know what?
you
It's
thought
never,
about her.
never the words. It's the audacity.
She intimidated me. She was like the only one at the station that ever intimidated me.
Billy?
Yeah, because she was the first, like, she was the hot babe that everybody talked about, and I never worked with anybody that was, I never had a radio job before where there was a hot babe and all this kind of stuff that people would ask you about, and then she would come around and she must have thought I was she probably still thinks I'm the biggest dork of all time. Because I just wouldn't talk to her. I wouldn't know what to say.
No, Billy
And
was.
she called me Rock
I
Home
just,
Gardens, and I still don't know what the hell that means.
I think if
Wait a minute,
the number
Rocky,
from
Rocky.
68 and 74 of your
What did
comedy,
Billy? What did Billy call you,
your
Rocky?
comedy war chest or
Rocky, what did she call
What
you?
was it she called you?
Rock Home Gardens?
That's an Amish place over in
Yeah.
Eastern Illinois.
Rock Home and Gardens is a location, right?
It's a tourist attraction.
That's what she called. That was her
Lots of
nickname.
rocks.
Yes.
Her nickname for you was Rock Home and Gardens.
Rock Home Garden. Well, I guess I don't know about the and, but
I think that's isn't that
No
what it is?
and, just
Oh,
Rock
there's
Home.
there's no and. I thought it was a
Rock Home Gardens.
Huh.
It's like by Danville.
yeah,
I've been there when I
Arcola,
was
that
little.
area.
And this is the first time you're hearing
It's
out that
Amish.
it's the first time you're hearing it's a place. That is very
I was
weird.
there
Well,
when I was
Gardens, I
little.
figured
I've
it
been there like
was.
2 or 3 times.
How bizarre. Sean,
It's not open anymore.
here's a question. Why did you leave a pair of wet underwear in Nikki's car or whatever?
That's a good question.
Simple, absent-minded moment.
What was it
You
doing
know-
off to begin with?
The wild.
Why would my
Well, there
second
was-
follow-up question is why were they wet? And what were
because
they
it was
wet
the
with?
90s. Because it was the 90s.
It was just the 90s.
Toilet seat. Well, let's see, I gotta watch it. I'm gonna lie about work. Toilet seat fell while I was in the business of discharging urine. So blowback,
They were wet with urine.
whatever you want to call it.
Ugh.
Was the underwear
Yeah.
wet with water or urine?
Well, initially urine, but I tried to do some. Again, I've listened to the word mitigation too much since COVID started. So I did some mitigation procedures to reduce the urine percentage.
So you're saying that you
And
were
then left them in my car.
in
Absolutely.
you were in Nikki's house, and somehow
That's horrified.
you're urinating into your underwear because you were like 20.
Yeah,
You were in your 20s when this happened, right?
yeah. So I lined up. Everything was going right. Then the toilet lid fell,
All right.
and then boom.
And then you're like,
And
oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna take my underwear off and wash them out in the sink. You're gonna wash the urine out of them.
Yeah. I'm going to wash that urine right out of my briefs.
And so you just put your pants on without underwear or anything? Is that?
Yeah.
I have a question about that day. I was told to stay in my room with the door shut because he was looking for something. And I could hear like my kitchen cabinets opening and shutting, and I could hear the refrigerator open and shut.
Stay in your room and shut the what? Like have you checked the children shit?
I have no
I
idea.
was told to stay in the room and lock the door.
He just told me not to come out. He wasn't dressed.
Were you two the only?
What were you doing?
Were you the only people in the house when this was happening?
Yes.
Oh
Have a pie out or something like that,
God.
maybe? Or
What were you looking for?
Probably paper towels, I'm thinking.
There was towels.
At
in the
least I don't
bathroom.
remember anything. I don't remember anything interesting. I don't know.
You're
Sounds
a
like he was.
goofy guy.
It sounds like he was.
like an old married couple, they sound
Yeah.
like.
Sounds like he was struggling as to whether he's going to bang her or not. That's what I think.
Oh, stop it.
I'm just wondering what was going on. So you go to clean your underwear out and they get all soaked in water.
Yeah.
And then you're carrying them around with you. How did they end up in the car?
I think I
shoulder.
I think I put them inside paper towels or something. I forget.
And you
At least the paper towels on the outside underneath.
So it was embarrassing enough for you that you're like, oh crap, I'm going to take these with me and get them out of here. But then you left them in her car.
Yep. Yep. The best laid plans.
And I threw him out on I-72.
You threw the underwear
That
out of the
may
car?
Yeah, I threw him out. I had like a soda bottle or something and flipped him out the window.
Those would be worth money too.
Yeah.
Why by Ninth Action Park somewhere.
Why would they be
Yeah,
worth
we could
money?
have the
Could be worth
we
the
had
fine
the-
for loitering. Litter bug.
Whose underwear are these? Let's do a DNA test and figure out who these belong to. Well, all I know is that somewhere there's a fat homeless man that's happy. DC in the chat room wants to know, Sean, do you still believe you would have been a pro quarterback if you were able to play football in high school?
You know what? I never really believed I'd be a pro quarterback, but you know, I did think that I did think I could have played maybe. I had at least in my youth, I thought I could have played Division III ball or something, but
not as a
you know. But now, I mean, at my advantage, you know, if I break it down, and again, it's hard for you to know who I was at 18 physically and what I could do with a football, but you know, there's quick release. There are all kinds of things. Who knows? You know, when you've had no football training, who knows? I mean, I had some guys I went to high school with who tried to play, and then they went out, and one went to Greenville when they started the program. And when you hadn't played the game, you just get slaughtered. So I think at this point, there are two things I look at. At 51 years old, one, it would have boosted my football supercomputer, so I would have been an even better play-by-play guy. But also, I think it would help my social development. You know, I didn't have any game in high school, didn't have a car. Yeah, it might have.
Who asked
you know,
this question?
because I'm an idiot. I mean, I got drafted into the play. A great chance. You know, I was a young
They don't need to
idiot.
ask anymore.
Don't focus on the girl I had a crush on.
By the
And,
way, Sean, by the way, you would have been a tight end. I'm telling you, you're 6 foot. What are you? 6'2"?
Well, I mean, you know, high school football at the time.
But I'm
too.
saying you were what? You're
I mean,
what?
like
You're
I
what?
said,
Six?
wasn't a
You're 6.
passing- It wasn't a passing crazy game. So yeah, I mean,
no, you.
there's
It
some
wouldn't.
merit to what you're saying. It was
But
running,
you were what?
It was
You're
a running
s-
dominated
You're
game.
6. You're 6'2", right?
Yeah.
Okay, you would have been a tight end. They would have put you in a blocking tight end, and occasionally you'd run a little cross to where they dump a little past you. That's how what every 6'2" guy would be in high school. Trust me, I played high school football around the time you did.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you're answering this question because it brings up this week's surprise. If you are a subscriber, to the subscriber show, which is going to be a video of the homecoming game, which we started when Sean Bulent was claiming he would have been a great quarterback. We played in 1997. We played a homecoming game where it was Ray Lytle's team, it was a team I quarterback.
Is somebody here chewing or I got a wrapper or something?
I don't know what
What is that?
It's got to be
Is
Nikki.
that Nikki?
It could be.
Yeah, she's eating an ice cream sandwich.
I was moving around.
We're over here talking about a special surprise.
Yeah.
Here's the big announcement, and all I can
completely
hear is
fell
like
for you.
somebody with a bag of chips or something.
She's munching on an
I
ice
was
cream
moving
sandwich.
around. It's like the microphone's rubbing against my hair.
I wish Doran was here now, because she would be aghast at Nikki eating another ice cream sandwich or something.
I'm not eating another ice cream sandwich.
It doesn't matter. I would portray it as you eating another ice cream sandwich.
I have the earbuds in.
Mm-hmm.
My hair is brushing against because I was moving around.
Oh, it was not your hair that was caught. That was a wrapper. Rocky's right. That was a wrapper.
It was a wrapper.
That was a wrapper of chips
Absolutely not.
or ice cream or candy or something.
She's got some paper-like hair.
Yeah. It was not
No.
paper.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
Sean says that he's a better quarterback. Blah, blah. So we challenge him to a game, and I can't remember who was on Sean's team. You can see in the video, but we play each other in this game, and it was such a blowout. It was such.
I had no blocking.
It was
I had
such a blowout.
I had, Party and Peg, who was as bad a football player as she was a broadcaster. It was a mess. Really, the only thing I really contributed was I was a pretty good pass rusher.
Yeah, I know, because I was a quarterback of the other team, and your defense I thought was better than your offense. I think we only won by 10 touchdowns.
Thank God.
So,
So somebody that accuses you of sexual harassment ends up being on your tackle football team.
Well, that's the regret. It was before that, and I threw a
I
pass.
guess it's
to
better
her,
than being on the other team.
I have
and
like
she dropped it.
and by the way, our team was our team was Big Petey was the center, and Jimmy was a wide receiver. I was a quarterback, and I mean, there was no exceptional athletes on the team, but I can't even. We beat them so bad. However, Sean actually did pass the ball good, but I just remember, here's what I remember the most: Sean backing up, throwing passes, hitting people in the hands, and them dropping them, and then him swearing at them so loud. And then going back in the huddle, and the whole huddle, Sean just yelling, "Maybe you just try to catch the goddamn ball, blah, blah, blah." And then he wouldn't even call a play because he'd just be yelling the whole time.
I don't know who took the video, but it was somebody's kids. It was sounded like two little girls that actually had the camera that took the video. So probably a listener that was on the field, I think, or somebody on the field had their kids tape it. So you hear these little girls there once in a while talking, and then you hear, "Goddamn fucking man."
Yeah, but that's the video that's going to be released this week. That's also got Jim the photographer in the dunk tank, and and then Sean doing karaoke, some kind of country karaoke. I can't remember which artist he's doing. I think
I did Amarillo by Morning by George Strait.
Yeah, and Rocky takes it. Rocky takes.
And there's a Shaner Sean duet too.
Yes. And then Rocky takes Sean's karaoke and he does some editing. So all I gotta say is, you guys are in for a delight if you get the video this week. It's coming out. I think.
What a mess I am, because I'm this redneck city slicker hybrid who is too city slicker for rednecks to like, and too redneck for city slickers to like.
And you can see big fat Ray Lytle throwing the ball, and it's just a trip. So
yeah, hopefully me and the dunk tank isn't on there.
No, it's Jim. I think Mikey's in it, and then Jim's in it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then there's a little bit of the Itchy Pickles concert, but the lights, there's no lights out. You can't even, you hear the band, but you can't see them, which is crazy. But we sound good. Anyway, that
I was
is
surprised we were allowed in the facility because I think that was after the legendary Jim national anthem at the Springfield Capitals game.
Oh wow, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
So it
Where
is.
people
It
thought
is.
he, because he was Jim, they thought he did it on purpose, but he just.
That's just how
he
it
just
was.
having a-
That was just a bad idea from page one. That was a bad idea. That was an idea I did not come up with.
It was
by
not
the way.
mine. I see who you're looking at. It wasn't my idea. He asked.
We had death threats.
He asked,
I
and I
mean-
said, "Okay, I probably should have thought about it." Blame Paul
Oh
Fletcher.
my word! He just had, and then what? He just had stage fright, right? Along with
He can't sing. He had no
he
timing.
can't sing.
You know, most people, at least, they can't. They're pitchy, or they don't get it. They don't understand a key, how a key works, or whatever. When they sing, if they're not trained, that's fine.
He
You can
just
get around
couldn't
that.
sing.
He had no sense of any kind of rhythm or time. I've never seen anybody like that ever. I used to think he was joking around, like trying to be a character. No, it was real. I've still, to this day, never seen anybody that has
God
that had
damn.
no sense of like rhythm, or like you could sing along with the song.
He was
And putting
just-
him in charge of the national anthem, like the hardest song.
What was
Wow,
out there to sing?
it was worse than the
It is-
Roseanne. It was like a local version of the
It
Roseanne.
is one of my.
oh my word, yeah.
It's one of my worst moments.
And
Yet
you
one
talk
of my
about death threats,
favorite.
some of them were instant, like the guy from the Capitals, Joe Ronco.
Yeah.
Dorn will recall. He was like, I think he had to be held back. He was going to kill Jim
Oh,
right there on
yeah.
the field.
Right.
That thing.
I mean, there were
O'Keefe's arm got turned into the Terminator arm, and we
Ah.
kind of had weird stuff happen there.
Yeah.
yeah, that
was-
only happened. We didn't do that too long.
That Jim thing was one of my
Let's
worst.
stick to radio. No more football, baseball.
It was one of my
something that's
worst
just-
yet favorite moments. Was Jim singing the national anthem? I just remember him going, "And the star, da, 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 fuck you."
I've never heard it. I can't listen to it. I've never heard it.
Somebody starts cussing him out in the middle of the song. We're so gallantly streaming. Fuck you,
motherfucker.
Oh, remember that? We were in the press box. So we had Ray. We had the bird's eye view.
I just
of
walked
everyone's
away.
reaction.
Yeah, I just turned and
It
walked
went from
away.
some people,
Oh,
and you could tell we
God.
were cussing, and you could tell people thought he did it on purpose.
Yeah. Oh my
I,
God.
I wasn't there. I would have definitely pulled one of my ninja.
Oh yeah, you'd
It disappeared.
have walked out. Fuck you, Jim.
Oh, say.
But listen, $5 a month. If
I
you
wish Rocky was up there, we would have avoided disaster.
if you subscribe, it's only $5 a month to become a patron, and that's the Friday show. But this week, the Homecoming 1997 video will be released, and that is for patrons. So it's only $5 a month. I highly recommend it, and all the treats you get are so worth it. The Raymond Lytle Day from Raymond, Illinois, will be coming up soon, and you get brand new shows. And by the way, guests on the show is going to include Mikey, Shaner, RTQ. We're going to have different guests on for the next few weeks, and it's always a fun show.
Raymond Lytle Day, which changed the course of history. Mayor Denny held. He's like, I've done a few terms. I'm happy with what I've done. And then, the other guy had a Raymond Lytle Day. They brought me back, and he's still mayor today.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the voters tossed the guy out. We want somebody else to be mayor.
What son of a bitch had Raymond Lytle Day? I'm glad that I
They brought
mattered.
a flatbed with a band. And
By the
They
way,
seriously voted that guy out because of that?
yeah, people were so pissed off. People were so pissed
That's
off.
the local legend anyway.
I thought that brought all kinds of money to the community, and
It brought a
I thought people
shitload.
liked that.
It brought a shitload of money to the
Yeah.
community.
And lots of sin too.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes!
We should talk about Raymond Lytle. One of these days, we should talk about that whole mess. We
Well,
raised
when
a
this video
shitload.
goes up in a couple months,
We raised a shitload of money. A
I thought everybody
shitload.
was happy. The mayor was.
I
The mayor
was.
up there went up there and said, "Screw Jim."
Yeah. No.
Yes.
And they had at the golf tournament alone. Like how many people had their golf? It was unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, that's not none of that's on the video, but that was actually one of the biggest things was the
Yeah.
golf. That was the whole
Yeah.
point. Was the golf tournament? That's what you paid to
And then we had a big
do,
parade.
and then that
and
money went to Raymond. Wow.
They had a big parade. They had beer, and I think that's what it was. I think it was beer, and some people didn't like, the whole partying aspect of it. There may have been
The
some,
partying, like, oh my God, there's a live band playing music and people are walking around.
there might have been some nudity behind the scenes, but there wasn't anything out in, I think Jimmy hooked up with somebody behind the stage or something, but I don't remember. There was no,
Well, one blowjob behind the stage shouldn't get somebody unelected.
It's not like he was doing it on it wasn't on the stage.
Right.
It was the 90s.
Yeah. And it was Billy walking naked and all that stuff that kind of freaked people
Oh,
out. I think.
forget.
Yeah.
The dog was named naked. It was an
Yes.
old
It was
joke.
an old bit. I wasn't even a fan of that bit because I knew it would piss
It disappoints people, and then they
Yes.
come looking.
It disappoints them.
I came here with a semi-erection ready to go, and she's walking, and some sign says the dog's naked.
And I think that was our consultant's idea, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't
right?
probably. That sounds. Yeah,
I think that's what his idea was.
it has the stench
Uh,
of a consultant.
Unbelievable.
Has the stench of an overused radio bit.
Terry says, I just finished my 4-hour drive to Iowa. Thank you so much. Next to the world's largest truck stop. Thanks so much for helping me along with the ride. Anytime, Terry. That's a long freaking drive, man. So he's taking 70s. That's 74 that whole way.
I don't know. He's always driving now, and yeah, that's why the weekend comes. Like I was saying, there's nothing that's it's a nap fest.
Oh my
We watched
God.
Every Which Way But Loose over the weekend. That's the kind of weekend. we
Yeah.
had.
I saw you posted that.
I watched the whole
I
second.
didn't post that.
I watched
was
the whole.
tagged.
I watched the whole second
Yes.
season of Cobra Kai.
At least Cobra Kai's from this century.
Yes.
And that Every Which Way But Loose really doesn't hold up that well. I mean, it's
No.
really just him walking around fighting people, and
A lot of the 1970s stuff does not hold up. I've
Is
noticed.
that the one with the right turn
Orangutan.
Clyde or whatever?
I thought it was, and I think that it turns out that's the sequel where
It's
he
the
says
sequel,
right turn
yeah.
Clyde.
Okay.
Yeah, any which way you can.
That was the thing back in the day.
So Every
Right.
Which Way But Loose was the original one.
Yeah, I don't think he's. We were waiting. He doesn't say right turn Clyde in that one.
And
That's
any,
the one with the old woman that you damn dirty ape, get your goddamn hands off me.
and Any Which Way You Can is the sequel.
Yes.
I'll be damned. This is the kind of weekends that you're spending.
People used to just, and that was the time when these monkeys would just show, and it was the same two, I believe it was the same two orangutans actually, but they would just start showing up. I used to think as a little kid that people would just bring orangutans to bars. And so you had Every Which Way But Loose, and those you had BJ and the Bear. I just saw a Chips episode where the actual orangutan, same one, is in that, sits down and watches a Charlie McClain concert.
The monkey ended up. It lets you know how America was. The monkey got famous.
For some
What was
reason,
the
there for
name of
about
that?
2 or 3 years, these two orangutans were like in every TV show.
Yeah. Well,
What was
You
the
know what,
name of the
Lunch?
show that had the monkeys that were dressed up and talking?
oh yeah. There was a.
Monkeys dressed up
Yeah. There were
talking.
these chimps.
They're
There were these
dressed up like
talking
people.
chimps. They were
And it's
spies.
dubbed over with people talking.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Because that was on
The-
reruns then.
There was a Tony Danza movie. Tony Danza had a movie where he had an ape right around that time too, or an orangutan.
There was a TV series that had chimps.
Donnie Marie had an ape movie, Going Bananas.
So somehow, listen, we even had Honey Boo Boo here in the not too distant past, where there was there's always something in Hollywood that catches some kind of fire, that everybody wants to jump on the back of. Back then it was apes.
Yeah.
Now
A
it's,
guy with an ape or an orangutan friend
Yeah. Now it's
that he would
hillbillies.
bring into bars and stuff.
Now it's
And the bar was fine.
now it's like little hillbillies. What can I say? It just changes.
Well, now it's Tiger King.
Or yeah, or what is
You got
Tiger
your
King?
Tiger with you.
Tiger King's just a hillbilly, a honey boo boo, just a hillbilly. You know, I mean,
Snakes are so yesterday.
yeah. Who knows what'll be the
I-
next thing?
I ain't gonna, you know, you get 25-foot python, you know, you got to feed it. Oh, hell.
I mean, there was a time it was Paul Lynn and
Got a 5-figure cage.
who was the host
hell.
of the $1.98 beauty contest? Rip, what's his name? Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor.
Yeah, remember?
$1.98 beauty show.
And Richard Simmons. There was an era of effeminate men. We go through these little things. It's what we do in the United States. We find something that fascinates us, and they become hot for a couple years, then we move on. Now it's Carol fucking Baskin and Tiger King, and back then it was apes.
Kayla McCallum.
Right turn,
whatever her name is.
Clyde.
The press secretary or whatever that just quit.
Oh yeah,
Campaign manager.
Kellyanne Conway,
Kellyanne Conway.
Kellyanne Conway.
who quit because like her daughter's accusing her of something, or
She was want to get emancipated.
well, I know the daughter hates Trump.
That's what happened to BJ and the bear. The bear wanted to get emancipated. This highway stuff isn't for me.
I mean,
Who
how
the hell
I'm
approved the name BJ and the Bear?
I like BJ and the Bear.
But I mean,
I did too, but who the hell came up with that name?
well, I mean, I want you to think about.
By the way, what's a bear? That's a monkey.
You
That's
know
not a
what-
bear.
You know what happened? They came up with this interesting
That
concept.
poor jawbreaker. I'm too busy here. Bear's going to talk to you.
They came up with an interesting concept, and then they wrote, and they would write things for the monkey to do or whatever, and they realized that it doesn't work. The monkey doesn't read, so it's not like the monkey's going to read or understand a script, and that you have to have people that wrangle it. And they realized it was a huge pain in the ass.
It's the same two orangutans. I looked it all up when we were watching. It's the same two orangutans that are in all 85 of those
So,
things from like
well,
1978 to like 1982.
Eventually, when they die, you're shit out of luck. And that's what happens with TV. TV working with funny little chimpanzees, or
and
then,
There's
then
nothing
remember-
worse than a monkey with creative differences.
Well, then there was a time. Then they decided, you know what's funny? Let's get overly small black children, and they did Gary.
Happened twice.
They got
Arnold and Webster.
Arnold and Webster,
Yeah.
yeah. And so they made shows around those guys.
Smaller.
I'm telling you, there was effeminate white men. There was Paul Lynn, Charles Nelson Riley, Rip Taylor. A TV, Hollywood always does that. I'm telling you, now we're living in the
They
era
went through a
of
dog phase too, like Turner and Hooch and
Yes.
Beethoven
Yeah.
and
Canine.
yeah.
mhm.
Now it's Honey Boo Boo and Tiger King and Carol.
Now it's Honey Boo Boo.
Not anymore.
No, I'm saying over the last
Sunshine, that was
8
like
years.
15 years ago.
Over the last 8 years, it's been Honey Boo Boo and Honey Boo Boo's mom and shit like that. I mean, that's
The Kardashians and the
yes,
Real Housewives.
yeah. That's just how we are. Well, now it's Trump. It's all Trump now.
Wouldn't that show have been better if it was called like Fake Ass Housewives?
Yes.
Fake Ass Housewives of Beverly Hills. That sounds like a better name.
We live in very odd times,
Yes, we do.
but we're just looking for entertainment. Hey, by the way, let me plug DTE Technologies. DTE Technologies 408-0001. DTE will become your IT person for your business. Call Rob today, 408-0001. And remember, Recon Text, call them for a detail, 670-1132. That's 670-1132. Get a detail scheduled, free steam cleanings and disinfectants with a regular detail now at Recon Text. Proof Vision of Performance. Oh my God, I still have more questions for Sean, but I guess I'll save it. As it
What was
is,
the deal with the Jets concert?
yeah, oh yeah. Yes. The greatest. We noticed on one of your questions, it was what were the best concerts you've ever seen? It was Paul McCartney, Bruce Springsteen, and the Jets.
Those girls were so cute.
You put the Jets up with Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen.
When they did the dance remix of "You Got It All Over Him," I mean, the crowd was in the palm of their hand.
Over him, you got me over him, honey, it's true.
Unbelievable. It is.
You know, saying Jet wouldn't have been bad enough. I had to say the Jets. Or then there was the crazy, bizarre abstract art show known as Taylor Dane. That was interesting.
Weirdest movie you went to by yourself.
Gosh.
Because you do get to go see movies by yourself all the time. It's very odd.
You know, I saw Crying Game because I thought the whole, IRA thing was different.
Yeah, it's about.
And
more than that.
it was.
I had
at the time,
no idea what that movie was about when I saw it in the theater with somebody. No idea what it was about.
Until
I thought it was about basketball. I don't know why. I must have got it confused with like the Basketball Diaries or something. But I went and saw the Crying Game with somebody and had no idea what was coming.
You had no idea until they showed the penis.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a love story or anything. I literally thought it was a movie about basketball for some reason. I don't remember why.
So you're watching it going, when the fuck are they gonna start playing basketball?
Right.
There's some weird scene with Forrest Whitaker.
It had to do with the
some
IRA.
dream sequence where he's playing like a Highlight or something, and it just was. It was pretty weird. There was a hot little redheaded Irish gal in it, but it was a little out there for me.
I do remember.
There are probably the other couple examples. I just can't think of them offhand.
I do remember one time where Sean asked me to go to the movies with him, and we go and see Sky Captain. It was some movie with
that
Gwyneth Paltrow and.
Oh yes.
I don't even remember who played Sky Captain.
Angelina Jolie, Jude Law.
It was Jude Law, yeah.
I watched a movie alone in the theater, and it was because I don't remember where I was, but it was somewhere where I had time to kill, and I was by myself, and it was either like sit in a hotel room or go find a movie theater or something and watch a movie. It's like pre-internet. Internet wasn't really big yet or anything like that. And I don't remember the name of it, but it was that Mel Gibson movie where he befriends a little boy, and he's from the past or something. The man without a face or something.
No, it's the little boy.
Like
He's
I think it was called Man Without a Face, right?
I think it is Man
It was
with No
Elijah
Face or
Wood.
something.
Wasn't it Elijah Wood or someone was a little boy?
Yes, yeah. And I'm sitting there alone in the theater watching this creepy ass movie.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, and here's all these other guys in the theater alone watching this movie.
Well, I think
the funny comedy version of the Phantom of the Opera.
I think.
Oh my God! But didn't that get like? Because obviously I saw it in theater, and so I saw it early. But then all these articles start coming out about how it's creepy and what the hell kind of a weird relationship is that for a man and a little boy and.
Oh, they're called Forever Young.
Forever Young.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Oh, Forever Young was the one where he was cryo frozen. He was a B-25
Right. Did he have a
pilot.
friend? Did he have a little kid as a friend in The Man with No Face?
I think so. Yeah.
There was some kind of pedophilia undertone with that one. movie I know you're talking
In
about.
whichever one it was. I remember which one it was. It was one of those two.
I've never been a big Mel Gibson fan. So, however, I like the Lethal Weapon movies.
I liked Mad Max, the first one.
I like the Lethal Weapon movies. You know what? I'm not so high on the anti-Jew stuff, but I like the Lethal Weapon movies. The anti-Semitism
Yeah, I'm not so big
just
on
wasn't for me.
wishing that someone would get raped by, and then by a specific race.
I'm not into the racism stuff, but I like Lethal Weapon.
In
I like
Mel's
the first
case, though,
two.
in his
Patriot was
defense,
good.
it was a total ASUI case, and I mean, who hasn't done a little ASUI case?
But there's more than movies, more than one person. It's a whole group of hundreds of people making a movie.
I think that you're going to see
Just kidding, folks.
a
Just an
lot
excuse
more
for the joke.
people going to the movies by themselves now than in the past. Like, for example, I would never think of going to the movie by myself unless I was in, like Rocky was saying. Like, there have been times, like I went on some job interviews once and things like that, where
You do it when you're alone in the
yeah, I
city,
was
or say you have
alone
to kill
in the
time.
city and I
But
needed
now
to
you got
kill
the
some time.
internet and
Yeah.
whatever.
And so I would go to the movie by myself. But outside of that, I would never go to the movie by myself. I love to go to the movies with my wife. But I got to be honest. I know the movie theaters opened up this weekend, and a lot of people were going to see Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie. There's no way. There's no way.
Hope it's worth dying for.
Yeah, with this COVID shit, there's no way. Now, I might go to the movies if there was no one in the theater and I could go by myself and wear a mask. I might go to the movies.
There'd have to be like elongated guaranteed nudity
Yeah.
or something.
Well, I gotta be honest. I think I think you'll see more people maybe go to the movies by themselves because you want to socially distance. You know, I just don't know if I'd want to hang near a bunch of people.
No, there's no way I would go to a movie alone now. Risk all
Yeah.
that to just sit in a theater by yourself.
For some
Just
half-ass
stay home and
movie.
watch a movie by yourself.
Yeah.
You've got the internet now. You
So
can stream brand new movies that are supposed to be in the
I don't know
theater.
where movies are going, but I'll tell you, I don't know when I'm gonna feel like, because I want to see Wonder Woman when it comes out, but I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't know if I'll be mentally ready. You know, because this pandemic
It
shit
seems
is
like-
crazy.
Seems like Disney Universal are dead set on killing the industry too.
Yeah.
I don't,
Well, listen.
and I don't get that because, well, of course, Disney wants everything. I mean, they've already put such a squeeze on the theater owners with the requirements for Star Wars and anything else, and now it's like, well, maybe we'll
Well,
just,
aren't they
they're not going to let anybody have Mulan.
aren't they
And,
doing aren't they allowing fans to come into college football games? Right? Aren't they? Isn't like the SEC or one of those big football conferences? They're allowing
Yeah.
fans to come in. Jesus, it's
and all over the
unbelievable.
board.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be.
I think there was a nail in the movie coffin anyway, just because for one thing, everything's been done. Every plot's already been done. So everything's a remake or whatever. And then number two, movies used to be the entertainment. The real life's the entertainment. Now you got this news cycle that keeps changing every 20 minutes with you got a president with his crazy tweets that everybody wants to read that's like a shock jock or something from the 80s. How does movies compare with, some Hollywood movie, some script, some person's doing the same old story arcs? How does that compare with what's going on in real life right now? It's so
telling
much
you.
more interesting than some movie.
The movie studios, my mic just fell. The movie studios need to hurry up and develop a pay-per-view model that works. Because I
Yes.
think
and
the
how
movie
attractive
theaters,
is that now for people to go sit in a movie? I mean, COVID aside, let's say COVID didn't even happen. How attractive is that now for somebody to go into a theater? They've got to be completely still.
Yeah.
They can't look at their phone.
No.
Totally out of touch with the world for 2 hours. It can't stop it and repeat something that they missed. It's just not as appealing as a thing as it was 15 years ago.
I think the pandemic has started the downfall of movie theaters.
And I think places like Universal are kind of like accepted that, and they're looking already
Well, they have to find
build alternatives and to build different habits for moviegoers that
they have
don't
to find
involve the theater.
They got to find a pay-per-view model that's going to work, because people could still steal shit. They steal the movies, so that's what's holding it up.
And I get charging $25 for a family movie that the whole family's going to watch, and then the kids are going to watch it 6 more times.
Yeah.
You've got a whole family. I get that, but you can't charge $25 for some regular movie that an adult's going to watch on on a movie night like once, and that's not. Nobody wants to pay that.
I'll tell you, I mentioned Wonder Woman. That's the one I want to see. That Wonder Woman 84. But if I go to that regular, it's going to be me. It's going to be my wife, my daughter. It's going to be popcorn. It's going to be soda and all this shit. I mean, add all that stuff up. whatever that
It's
costs.
going to be the popcorn bucket trick.
What-
That's a given.
I'm just saying, whatever that costs, that's what I'd be willing to pay for the pay-per-view at
Like I said,
home.
it's a bargain. $25 to stream something to your house sounds expensive, but when you consider that it's the substitute for going to a movie, you're a family of 4 or something, and the kids are going to watch the movie 6 more times. It's really not that expensive. But a regular R-rated plot movie that you're going to watch once, I think $25 is too much for a lot of people for that, especially when they have all these other
That's $7
choices.
That's $7 tops. I don't even think I'd pay as much for that as I would go into the movies and see it.
10. I think people would pay, not 25.
But Hollywood's concern is people will steal it at home, so they have to find a way to profit from it without people stealing it. So you wonder when they'll figure it out.
Well,
And by the way, all the movie theaters, those companies are fucked. I mean, what are they going to show? If nobody's going to the theaters because of pandemic, I mean, they make all their money on concessions and stuff.
I think if theaters come back, you'll see more of the, and this is just my, just a guess or a prediction, but I think that if theaters do come back and the COVID thing ends, you'll see more of the beer bar type movie theaters with the seating, more of a social, they won't be the rows of seats where people are just sitting there.
Social element.
I think,
yeah.
It'll be like the ones that were opening in Chicago a few years ago where they have the waiter and you give food and you have a table and oh yeah, there's a movie playing.
We've got that theater. We've got the theater over on the east side, the Showplace 8 or whatever, where you buy booze and every chair's a recliner, and I fall asleep every time I go to that goddamn theater.
Right.
I'll be like drinking booze and kicking back in my chair. I couldn't tell you anything about the movie because I was sleeping.
You
It's like the
imagine
old
the industry,
drive-in days.
It's unbelievable.
Teenagers go to the drive-in, can't tell you a thing about what just happened in the movie.
That was my driving. That was my driving experience. Yeah. So.
and you think of the investment, they sunk millions into that. So think about what they spent in big cities and suburban Chicago and
Yeah, there's St. Louis
in the
theaters
last
like
5
that.
years.
Imagine what they're going through now. Going, holy shit, no one's gonna want to come here. Unless they start putting up some kind of what is a plexiglass in between seats or something, nobody's gonna want to go. So I feel sorry for those fuckers.
It'll be like playing a hockey game.
Yeah.
2 minutes for snoring.
And
2 minutes for discussing.
and by the
Well,
way,
big net that comes down in front of the screen like baseball. You'll have to watch the movie like that.
and sports are the other thing. I love sports, but tell me live sports aren't going to be affected. You're crazy if you think they are.
I'm not the biggest sports fan,
I know-
obviously, but
I know the
I just
NFL.
tuned in for a couple of things just to see what it was like, and it just looks so bizarre.
I know
with
the
cardboard and especially the sound effects. That's what really makes it sound just.
Yeah, but
very
you
strange.
can watch sports. You can watch sports and be just fine. But I'm saying that it's going to be a source of revenue they're going to lose. Like I watched the NBA games this weekend were incredible, but there was no fans, and that's the biggest source of money for the owners. They got to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, concessions and everything,
Yeah.
and team merchandise. You want to buy that shirt when
question.
you're right there and the excitement's going on. No, but they're not going to do that necessarily at home.
Well, I mean, where are you going
buy the $60 jersey?
where are you going to wear it? It's one
Yeah.
thing to wear a jersey
Right, yeah,
of your
good
team
point.
to the game, but you're not going to wear that into like a Walmart. I mean, what kind of imbecile's wearing like a football jersey on just a regular day? Oh, no offense, Sean.
I like having a lot of different types of shirts like this or whatever with different. Pink Floyd's a little mainstream, but usually like lesser known, whatever. And I bought like one in the last 5 months because you don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
What are you buying clothes for?
You're not. Who are you showing off for? There's
Right.
nobody out there. Yeah. So
To make sure I have different shirts for the cam.
society's changing. Society's changing. And I think in our chat room, I saw. Somebody said, "I'm not going to the movies until they get a vaccine." I think that's a lot of. People are thinking that. Until there's a vaccine, there's gonna be a lot of people that are going, "Fuck it, I'm not going." And
Yeah.
You know,
I think, like I was saying before a while back, I think it's going to change some habits, even if the COVID goes away, even if there's a vaccine, everything's wonderful now. I think a lot of people, especially with restaurants, are going to stick with the curbside and stick
Yeah.
with the DoorDash.
The thing with the vaccine is that guy in Nevada has had it twice, and they tested it, and it was 2 different strains of COVID.
Yeah. I don't know.
So if they do a vaccine, that's only going to take care of 1 strain of it.
I can't even pretend to know all that shit. All I
That's
know is there's a
scary.
lot. All I know is my brother-in-law had it, and I know that it fucks you up afterwards. I'm learning that now because I'm getting it from him, and what he's going through is it causes heart, head, and circulation problems that the doctors don't even understand. So, in fact, his lungs. My brother-in-law, his lungs are fine. That's not the problem. The problem is his heart.
Mhm.
And they're attributing it directly to COVID. So we don't even understand this illness.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how the hell they're going to fix it. All I know is I'm not going to the movies. I will not go to the movies.
I'm not going to the movies.
I will wait until the Blu-ray comes out,
It's curbside for me.
or I will wait until the on-demand or anything.
That's a good question. What movie is there a movie you would risk your life to see?
Oh, I'll tell you the one the Flash movie. That looks good.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'll go see that Flash
Of course,
movie.
he's got an answer
Of course.
for that.
He died, but at least he got to see the Flash movie.
They haven't even started filming it yet, but I'm ready for that one. We should probably wrap it up. It's 10. See, Sean Boleyn.
Oh, goodness.
Sean Boleyn joins the show and it goes to hell. It's 10:17. We should probably wrap it up. I want to thank everybody.
Pretty much.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to the show. We will wrap it up today and invite you guys to come back tomorrow at 8:00 for another edition of Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. Thank you so much, everybody. So long.
You better wake up, sleepyhead, and get your fat butt out of bed. There's a man who got up at 4 a.m. just to play you Zeppelin and Pearl Jam. Raymond Lytle is his name. Some have called him just a bit insane. But you may find him a little idiotic. But his is the only morning show you can say has really got it. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois, morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. Sean Boleyn Scott, news and
Herpes.
swords. Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. Michelle will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim made a remake of that movie called The Black Hole. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois, morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. That's going to wrap up today's show. We'll invite you to come back tomorrow and join us for a brand new episode tomorrow at 8 a.m. That's it for the morning disaster. We'll start the replay of today's show now. For audio only, the replay on Facebook will start in a few minutes after that. Bye-bye.
Jimmy, what is wrong with you?
Hey, they need loving.
There was another one too. There was another one there.